What's up, everybody? My name is Splattercat, and I am here with the next episode of The Long Dark. And so what we need to do today is I want to get right to it. I want to get right to it so that we can blow right through it. And then before you knew it, we'll be all nice and finished. Today is just going to be a wood finding day. That's all we're going to do today is we're going to replace our wood supply. That's going to be that. And then tomorrow, the next day, we're going to go out looking for that prepper lodge again. As I understand, it's by the logging camp somewhere. So I've got a decent idea. I went back through all the comments in between this episode and the last one. I actually spent about 10 minutes going back through all the comments one more time just to get the advice of the Nerd Castle to figure out where this thing might be at. And the general consensus seems to be that it's over in the logging camp somewhere. So I'm going to go over there. We'll try and figure it out. It's -8 right now. I'm going to try, let's go hour by hour right now and just see how that does versus doing it 3 hour by 3 hour. Because I do feel like every time I do it by 3 hours, I get less of a take. Okay, so I got tinder plugs. I really don't need tinder. I wish you could designate what you wanted him to look for, like checkboxes right here, because I don't need tinder plugs, not at all. If there was a checkbox over here to only look for wood, I like the actual burning logs, I think that would be a pretty cool option. It would make me happy. Let's just go. Do I have time for 3 hours? Maybe. Let's try it. Well, actually, let's keep the experiment going. Let's just go hour by hour, and we'll see what happens here. And if it works out the way that I think it will, we'll never do it. Oh, 2 fur firewood. Hooray, we got furry firewood. I love finding furry things in the woods. Hooray! Forage for more furry firewood. I don't know why, but this firewood's making my nose a little bit itchy. Looks like it had spores in it or something. Oh god, we're hungry and starving. Okay, that's not good. Our condition is rapidly deteriorating by 3%! 3%! Gods have mercy, 3%! Okay. That's enough fanfare for right now. There will be no fares for the fans or whatever it is. Alright, so we're not hungry anymore. Drink a little bit of water. Alright, and that should keep us from deteriorating too rapidly. No matter what happens, if it's just the cold, we'll be able to go to sleep tonight and we should be okay. Let's just go hour by hour. It seems to be working okay. I mean, it's a little bit of a tedious process, but yeah, I would love to see the developer add checkboxes, because in your head there are certain things that you're going to be looking for when you look for firewood, etc. And like if you already have like 5 million tinder plugs, why would you waste time looking for more tinder plugs? You would just be like, okay, ignore any of that. I'm not going to make any more Apache matches or whatever. I'm just going to hang out over here and find myself some logs. I mean, there's trees everywhere and we have a hatchet, so this shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, we have the thing, like the principal thing that you need to have in order to get this done. Our condition's dropping a little bit, but we'll be fine. We're not doing anything right now. We'll be fine. A little bit of cold never killed anybody. Okay, it killed a lot of people, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Oh, you were unable to forage. God, it's like a blizzard rolling through. Alright, time to go back inside. I don't accept this. The snow is falling sideways. That's not natural. That's not science. It's supernatural with witchcraftery. Back inside we go, obviously to cool down a little bit, or to warm up a little bit. I got my euphemism wrong here, but we're going to warm up slightly. Let's go ahead and we'll dump the wood pile over here. Wood pile under the materials menu. We've got a cedar, we've got 3 fir, and we've got a reclaimed wood. Okay. That's not too bad. That pile right there, hour and a half, 3... 4.5, 5.5 hours of fire. God, it's so noisy. You'd wonder at all if you could even sleep with that kind of racket going on outside. This thing doesn't look like it's marvelously insulated either. I don't know, most of the log cabins I've ever stayed in were basically just like planks of wood that were in the way of the wind. Basically, they broke the wind shear, and so you'd be fine. They got rid of the wind chill, but it was still like freezing as hell inside. Alright, so we've got cold going on, we got a little bit of hunger going on. Alright, we got things to solve. And we shall solve them right now. Hunger plus me equal venison cooked. It's a little bit of trig for you. A little bit of trig for you. A little bit of deer-related trigonometry. We'll drink, oh, I'm sorry, we'll eat another one right there. We'll go ahead and we're going to handle our thirst. And I think we may actually be trapped inside for today, which sucks a little bit. I mean, we have things to get done, and so it's a little bit disappointing that we're trapped. I'm going to take a 1-hour nap. A 1-hour nap doesn't do it for me, though, in real life. I can't just, like, lay down, fall asleep for an hour, and then get back up. Like, I have friends that can fall asleep on a schedule. Like, they will fall asleep for 45 minutes on the dot, get back up, and be ready to go. If I fall asleep, I gotta be out for at least 4 or 5 hours. Otherwise, I just feel like shit for the rest of the day. I feel absolutely terrible. Okay, and so we've got a little bit of water. We got a little bit of venison left. I think it might be worthwhile for us to go back outside and maybe forage a little bit longer. I did say that this was going to be a day full of wood, and so I don't want to leave everybody out there hungry for more wood. I want to make sure that everyone is satisfied when it comes to Splattercat getting wood in their presence, and so get more wood we shall. Crackledy snappledy. Snapple. Cedar firewood. Cold is already halfway up again. Alright. We'll do one more hour. Hopefully we'll get a little bit. I'd love to get 10 to 15 pieces of wood out of this deal. Fur firewood times 2. There we go. So now we're looking a little bit better. Cold is a tad high, but we still have hours left in the day. So I think what I may attempt to do right here, I keep hoping that like a wolf or a deer will walk by too so that we can take a pot shot at it. And maybe just hope that we can get ourselves some extra food to save for later. How's this venison doing in here? Oh, it's all perfectly fine. Good. Absolutely fine. I was wondering if it was going to deteriorate. It's actually only gone down by like 3%, so that's a very, very positive thing for us to have found out. We're at 20 days, 6 hours, and 8 minutes. I would reasonably assume that we'll probably make it a good 40 days or so in this series. Like, I can keep it going as long as people want to keep it going, although I do have to take that with a grain of salt because I found that overwhelmingly people are just like, keep going no matter what, no matter how boring it is, keep going. And so I have to kind of use a little bit of my appraisal skills as well. Just drop them right there. So that's another 4.5, no, that's just 4 hours worth of firewood. We're looking okay on firewood right now. What's our total water supply looking like right now? I think this was 5 over here. We've got about 2 days worth of water left that's safe. We've got 4.5 non-potable. Okay, so we may want to use our time a little bit wisely tonight to possibly boil off some more water. Just make sure that our water supply stays in the black. Although if my water supply turns black, I would become very, very suspicious of it. Never trust a water supply that is taken on any color. Unless it comes out of like one of those bottles you get at the store where it's clearly food coloring. As long as you know it's clearly food coloring. But if your water takes on any other tinge, I would be, at least I personally would be a little bit worried. I don't know. I'm also terrified of necrotizing fasciitis. I don't know if that's a rational fear to have, but necrotizing fasciitis is the scariest thing on earth. It's the reason why I don't swim in nasty-ass ponds. Nope. I will not be getting necrotizing fasciitis today. Plus, it's fun to say, necrotizing fasciitis. Necrotizing fasciitis. One more time, necrotizing fasciitis. There it is. We'll say it one more time. Alright, we got a little bit of time in front of us. I think you can go to like 10 o'clock before the lights go out. And by the lights, I mean that huge solar object in the sky. 2 more fur firewood. I don't know. Meh, I don't want to use any matches or anything to find my way back to the camp. Let's just go ahead. We'll use up whatever we can find right now in order to get some more water boiled off. Make our supply nice and solid. There's no point wasting time. If there's things to be done, we might as well do them. And so instead of leaving them wanting in the corner, I figured we might as well see to them, make sure that they are all nice and taken care of, and then we can do something else. And so we've got fir firewood over here. I should probably light with cedar, though. There we go. We'll light with the cedar. And I don't really know how much water I want to make today. Probably not a huge amount. I mean, I'll try and boil off what I can, but I don't want to waste all the... Like, I don't think we can go physically through all of the wood that we just got. I think that that would be a little bit much. I think that that's more than we could go through tonight, but I'd still like to keep everything... Let's go for 4 hours of fire, and we'll go ahead and we're going to boil off 5 liters of snow, and then we'll just get straight to it. Oh, we're starving. Okay. Let's add that in right there. Oh, wow, it'll let us boil off a bunch if we want to. Okay. Let me eat real fast. Actually, don't eat real fast. That's a great way to get indigestion. We're not going to eat real fast. We're just going to eat. We're going to eat at a normal pace. A normal pace. Let's go back down, grab some more. I'm going to walk sideways down the stairs because I like to live riskily. I don't care about my ankles. They looked at me funny. Get a couple more venisons in here so that we can last a day or two. And now we're over encumbered, which is never any fun. Let's eat while over encumbered. That seems pleasant. Awesome. There we are. Back up the stairs. Yeah, I get that you're tired, amigo, but we got stuff to do right now, so calm down. Simmer down right now. I know you're carrying around a bunch of water, but we got to do this. Alright, so we'll add that last cedar in there. And let's just boil off as much as we can. And there it is, 9.5 liters of potable water. That puts us at almost 13 liters of water. That's really, really good. Let's go ahead and drink some of it right now because it is flagging us up as dehydrated and our condition is starting to fail a little bit. We've got an hour and a half left on the fire, and so I don't think there's any reason not to make the best use of all the wood that we've got right now. It seems like quite a shame to leave it sitting there and just allow itself to burn itself out if we're not going to use it, so let's boil as much as we can right here. That should make it. I don't know. I'm getting a feel. Like, I can't tell you exactly how long it takes for each liter, but I'm starting to get a feel for how much you can get done in a day when it comes to your water supply. We'll probably drop... Since we're going on an adventure, I'd say we'll drop 11 of that. Do I have no potable on me? I'm sorry, I have no bad water on me? Oh, that's good. That's really good. Okay. Happy about that. Let's go ahead and eat some food right now so that if we get food poisoning, at least we can go to sleep and kind of fix that. And then adventures. Adventures await. Let's go for 7 hours right now. I think we'll be okay. I don't see any reason why we should die in the middle of our sleep after 7 hours. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? I'm impatient, so I tend to sleep for a long time. Okay, so our condition is back up to 100%, which is always nice to know. Wait, hold on. Did I drop too much over here?
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
2, 3, 4. Sounds like there's a blizzard outside right now, which is bad because I was going to go adventuring. I'm hoping if there's a blizzard, I guess we'll just pound our way through it because that is the best way to approach a blizzard. Pound your way through it. Don't slice your way through it. Do not even think about cudgeling your way through it. Just straight through it. Pounding. Pounding is the proper motion. And so we'll go for a couple more venison. I'd love to get a hunt done while we're out here. We're carrying a lot of random stuff, so let's go with everything. And we'll sort it by weight. Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that we're carrying, I'm going to drop my hatchet right now because that's a lot of extra weight that I don't really need to bring along with me. I might regret that if I end up having to look for... I feel like we're okay right now. I think we're just wearing a lot of heavy stuff, and I'm not going to leave the gun behind. That's a terrible plan. I'll probably drop all those right here, too. Just get rid of the tinder plugs, and that puts us down to 18.37. That's about as low as I'm going to be able to get everything. Take the hatchet. I'm going to go back on my word and take the hatchet. Alright, let's have a look around. We're going to see if we can locate the Prepper Lodge today. It's -5 out. That's not as terrible as it could be, so I think we're sitting out under reasonably decent conditions. If things get too nasty, the nice thing about the lumber camp is that it's right next to the dam, and so we can camp out there for the night. There's lots of reclaimed wood to be found in that location. I'm going to be walking for the majority of this journey because I don't want to fatigue myself out. I prefer to keep myself spry, springy, with a little bit of pep in my step, perhaps, if you really wanted to make rhyme schemes out of your travel methods. That's only if you really, really, really want to, though. There's a deer over there, and I do very dearly want to shoot him, but I think we're going to ignore it. We're going to keep our eye on the prize right now, and we've got to stick to the objective. If I don't, I'm going to get sidetracked. We're never going to get anything. Hey, look, we're being sidetracked right now. We're actually on tracks that are going sideways, depending on how you decide to spatially relate yourself. Never mind. Keep running. Don't think about it too hard. Don't think about it too hard. I said I was going to walk, and now I'm running everywhere. I find it amazing that we slept for 8 hours and our fatigue is still so high. That's wild. That's super wild. Let me get the gat out right now, too, just in case a wolfie decides to run up on us, because this train car over here is like a death trap for wolves and me. Early in the game, don't even come over here until you have the gun. There's no point. Until you get the gun, coming over here is a very, very bad plan. They don't seem to respond to the flares a lot of the time. You could throw a flare, doesn't really seem to work. About 50% of the time, they seem to just ignore it and come after you. I think it's related to proximity. Like if the wolf is too close when you light the flare, it doesn't count. God, that sounded way closer than it is. Okay, so there's a wolf right there. And we need to figure out a way to get past him without wasting a bullet, because this is not a time where I feel like doing any hunting. I think I outran one in the previous episode, so we might consider doing that too if he decides to aggro us. I'll try and go up and over this hill for now, though. I don't remember. I think I did this before where I came up and over this, and I think I got myself into trouble with my ankles because there was no way down or something. Yeah. So I'm not going to have a choice. I'm going to have to go over here. Maybe we'll be able to outrun him. Our condition's pretty high, so maybe I can just get bit and not even... I'll go back this way. He's wandering semi-randomly. Should probably stop sprinting on the side of a hillside, too. Actually, I didn't even say that. I could have said hillside. The side of a hillside seems like I'm being a little bit redundant. Like, there's way too many words right there for what we're going for. Alright, so let's make a cut back over this way. I don't mind backtracking slightly so long as we don't end up getting bit. I hate getting bit by wolves in this game. It's like, there goes 40% of your condition instantaneously. Enjoy dealing with that contingency over the next couple days. I think we only see the one, though. The wolf meat is healthier for you, so it gives you more calories. I think the wolves are eating reasonably well in this area because it seems as though their fat stores are better. It's worth 1,250 calories, which is pretty amazing for a protein-based meal. 1,250 calories is a lot for a piece of meat, so you gotta figure it's got fat lines running all through it. And fat is one of those things, I'm not a fancy eater. I don't want to give that impression. I'm not a fancy eater, but when I have a steak, I enjoy a good line of fat inside of it. Some people, like for example, my significant other, she just cannot have fat in her steak. She absolutely hates it. She doesn't like the taste. She doesn't like the texture. I think it's more textural than anything. But I'm like, that's fine. Put it on my plate. Cut that fat off. Throw it over here. Trim that stuff off. I'll eat it. So the lumber camp. I have no clue where this prepper lodge might be. Luckily, there's a lot of places we can hole up for the night over here if we don't end up finding what we need. So we have a backup plan. When I adventure and I don't have a backup plan is when I tend to feel the most nervous, because then it's pretty much all or nothing, pass or fail. Make sure that wolf isn't following us right now. We're getting kind of smelly. It's been 21 days out in the wild without a bath, and it's bad. I don't think anybody's going to want these. Like, if the family ever comes back for these clothes that their loved ones left strewn all over the place, like dead bodies and whatnot, they're like, hey, I would like his last effects. You don't want his last effect. His last effects will leave a lasting effect on your smell if you put them on at this point. You couldn't wash that out. You could take it to a dry clean, and then you're just going to be like, nope, we can't do this. The smell is just, it's in the fibers. Like, it's down inside the fibers. If you took out a microscope, you would see little green gremlins crawling around, and they're too resilient. We can't get rid of them. Okay, so the clear cut. This is where people have said that the prepper cabin is at. We've come over here a number of times, and I suppose I must have missed it each time because I still don't see it. But we'll keep our eyes open. And we'll hope for the best over here. If we do end up finding ourselves an awesome prepper cabin, I think that it's going to really augment our supplies in a positive way. I think that sort of thing is exactly what you'd want to look for in these cases, although I'd be careful. Preppers tend to be very, very sort of paranoid people. A lot of them are ex-military too, and so, I don't know. I'm into survivalism, and I have met people. I'm much more realistic about survival skills. I have accrued survival skills because it's a part of my job, not necessarily because I'm worried some great catastrophe is going to befall the earth. Preppers tend to be, I don't want to broad brush right now, but they tend to be a little bit paranoid about things, and they can definitely be trigger happy as well. I mean, I've seen a number of interviews with random prepper people who are just like, oh yeah, if anybody comes near my stuff after the cataclysm, I'm going to shoot them in the face. I'm not even going to think about it twice. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's your property, so be careful. Be careful. That's what I would say, is if in real life you ever find a prepper cabin, chances are if it's in California, it's probably actually like a weed cave, and you should run away as fast as you can. We have giant weed farms all out in the hills and stuff, and so if you're ever out in the hills and you find, I think I talked about this already. Did I talk about this already? I don't know. Anyways, if you're ever in California and you're out hiking in the hills and you find a fish hook hanging by fishing wire from a tree and there's no body of water nearby, as in like there's no way that could have gotten there by somebody entangling their wire, then get the hell out of there. Like, just go back the way you came as rapidly as you possibly can, because you are knocking on heaven's door, my friend. Some of those weed farmers out in the hills are not the friendliest characters, and they are not pleased by the fact that you may have stumbled across their secret cash crop. They're not happy. These people engage in like shootouts with drug enforcement agencies and stuff, so I figure they would stand their ground with an average civilian as well. It's a lot of money to be made and lost up in those hills. That is for certain. Well, I'm not seeing... You'd think that there'd be some kind of trail that would lead off, and... We are in the cut right now. I suppose it might be worthwhile to clamber up onto one of these hillsides and maybe see if we could find something that way, but let's eat our lunch first. What time is it? Yeah, it's lunchtime. Let's go ahead and eat lunch. I love lunch. Lunch used to be my favorite meal of the day, but I think I've sold out. At this point, I think breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I just like sausage and croissants and like biscuits. I do come from a southern family, and I do have a very, very real biscuit addiction. Ain't nothing better than a biscuit that Grandmama made. Mm-hmm. Biscuits. Especially if they're buttermilk biscuits, but it just keeps getting more and more unhealthy. Like, you can make biscuits better and better and better by just liberally applying butter. Better and better with more and more butter, but they are not good for you. They're so good, though. Actually, right now in my fridge, I've got some applewood bacon, and I've got some biscuits that I need to make. I've got the batter all ready to go. And I do need to make some biscuits. I think I'm going to do it on my girlfriend's next day off. I'm going to get up early in the morning, have bacon and biscuits for breakfast. I'm excited about it. I used to put honey on biscuits a lot of the time, but I stopped doing it. I don't know. It's just, honey's too sweet for me anymore. As a kid, I loved honey. I put honey on everything when I was a kid. And now that I'm older, I don't know. I don't eat honey like I used to. I'm going to try. This looked like kind of a weird gully to walk up right here, and it seemed like it might be leading towards something, so I'm going to go for it. We'll have a look around. And if we can't get a look around at the bare minimum, this will give us a high ground advantage so that we can have, well, at least a better feel for geographically where we might be traipsing about. I do hear a wolf, so we will want to be prepared to engage in a shootout with the wolf if he decides to show up. There's the cabin right there. Is this... I know I got lost back up in here because a lot of these back areas seem to be a little bit weird. What is that? Looks like we've got a lake of some sort over here, unless this attaches. I think we may have hit it. I don't know. I know that there's a lake that we haven't found as well that people have talked about. People have talked about a lake, people have talked about a prepper cabin, and people have talked about another ski resort that we haven't seen. And so, where is this right here in relation to everything else? Where is this at? I think that's train tracks right there. I think. I can't tell. We're too far away. I need some binoculars or something. That's an item that I'd love to see added to the game as well, or some binoculars, because every now and again, I feel like I need a better look at something, and I just don't have the equipment in order to do it. Even a monocular, to be honest. I know a lot of people on my survey teams that just bring a monocular with them, because it's small, it's easy to carry around with you, and it's equally as powerful as at least a middle grade set of binoculars. I have seen some really, really crazy military grade binoculars that were very, very nice, but I'm not interested in hiking those in with me. There's too much weight. Once you get into backpacking and stuff like that, you start to get a sixth sense for things you just don't need, like things that are way too heavy and things that you just don't want to hike in. And I've seen guys, I know guys that overpack when they backpack, and they bear the extra weight without complaining, and that's just how they do business. But for me, it doesn't do it for me. I try to pack light, as little as I can possibly bring along. Well, we got another dead body over here. If it's a deer, I'm going to go ahead and skin it. If it's a person, well, I'm not going to skin that, but we will take all of his goodies from him. Looks like it's a person. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dig through the corpse here for a minute.
I could use this.
Wool socks and a Summit soda. I thought we were going to get goose egg there for a minute. I thought we were about to get skunked, about to get sprayed. Okay, so it looks like we've got a deer tower in here. I wonder... Okay, so our fatigue is getting up there. I'll probably use the ranger station. Okay, so we got a wolf over there. I'll probably use the ranger station as our fallback point. Now, if there's a hunting tower right here, if there's a deer tower, what are those called? It's got a name. It's not a deer tower, it's a deer watch? I don't know. Probably anything of that kind. But anyways, if there's a deer watch or a deer tower out here, you'd gotta figure that there'd be a house within hiking distance. I know very few hunters that are interested in long, like 5-mile hikes first thing in the morning when they go out. So yeah, there we go. As I assumed, although we may have seen these already. Let's go check the tower over here. We'll come back and we'll deal with those in just a minute. This might be Hidden Lake, the place that people were talking about, although this barely qualifies as a lake as much as it does like maybe a tiny lagoon. Barely qualifies as a lake. The unnamed pond. Yeah, a pond. I think that's a better word for it. Absolutely, I agree. So the developers beat me to the punch. Beat me to the pond. Beat me to the whatever. Let's check this location over here. Obviously, it's not a prepper lodge, but it's something. I mean, kind of wish that I had a flare right now because I'm not interested in getting caught out. Especially with our fatigue. I think he's on to us. Yep. He's on to us. We're going to have to blast him, unfortunately. And I can't let any of the meat go to waste either. Alright. Well, let's make do. 7 kilos. It's going to take us an hour to get that done. What's our weight allotment looking like? Okay, we're good. Let's go for it. Worst case scenario is we can camp out in one of those cabins for the night, and we'll just figure it out as we go. Let's go ahead and spend a little bit of time butchering the meat. We can't leave it behind. That's the ultimate moral of the story right now, is that we cannot leave something useful like that behind. We're getting to the end of our bullet supplies right now to where I can't even fully reload anymore. Ooh, skunked. Have we been here? I'm hoping we haven't been here. If we've been here already, I may take a look around that side of the unnamed pond if we have time. If we have time. I think that's the best spot. I think that's the best way for me to leave this task half done. I think we go back and search these cabins over here, make sure that there's nothing inside of them, and then we'll check that ridge over there. Like I said, it seems very, very unlikely. I've never met a hunter in my entire life that enjoys a 5-mile hike into a hunting area first thing in the morning at like 5 a.m. So typically, the few times that I've gone hunting, hell is that noise? Typically it's the wind. The last couple times I've gone hunting, what I've found is that we set up pretty near to where we're going to go hunting the next day. And then you just have like a short walk, like maybe like a half-mile to a mile hike away from the campsite. Unless you've got a bunch of people. If you've got a bunch of people there, like people who don't hunt and you're on like a camping trip or whatever, then you should hike a lot further away because you don't want to accidentally shoot anybody. But what is this right? This hill is a different color. I wonder if that's it. Let's check these houses first. I remember finding something like this after we went to the clear cut, so I could be wrong here. Yeah, we've already searched this. Okay, so we've been over here. We may have even been to the unnamed pond already, because there was nothing in that deer tower, so... Oh, that's just an outhouse? Okay, so we got him already. God, just pooping on a snowbank. Brutal. It's pretty metal. Well, let's keep our eyes open. I mean, this snowbank is a very odd color. So I'm wondering if this actually isn't part of the terrain or what's going on with this snowbank. Let's just kind of walk around it in a circle and make sure it doesn't have like a little bunker hatch sticking out of it anywhere. I do think we're going to get caught up away from home tonight. So I think our best plan right now is probably to head for the ranger station. Let's make the walk to the ranger station. We'll continue looking around tomorrow. We'll come back and we'll try and cross the T on the pond over there and see if there's anything over on the other side. And if there's nothing over there, then I guess we'll still just tootle around a little bit further on this side of the map because I feel like there's a lot of trees. I'm feeling a lot of feelings right now. I do think that there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of tree cover, and so if there is going to be something over here, it's going to be very, very easy to miss. I'd love to get some firewood before we go back up in there so we can cook off some of this meat. That's the other thing that I would highly consider doing. Although maybe we'll just use that as an away base. We'll kind of... I thought I heard a doggy. I definitely think I hear growling, but it just might be my head messing with me. Let's go back up over here. And I think that's where I'm going to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcast for the next episode of The Long Dark. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode as we continue to try and find this bunker. That's the last thing I want to do in this series, is I want to find this bunker. I want this to be a completionist playthrough, and if I can't find it, it's going to sadden me. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care, everybody, and hi-do.